Everybody, 521 week number 5. So this week the focus is on equity, gifted and talented students. And so my first instinct when I look at this one is I've been following a handful of various parenting accounts, mostly on Instagram, and there are a lot of memes I've seen. Somehow I've made it into this part of the algorithm where it's some version of, if you were in the gifted and talented program and you're in your 30s and 40s, you have anxiety and yada 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 and yada and just like, oh, that's interesting. Just the idea that, certainly for me as an elementary school kid in the 80s, that gifted and talented meant you always had to be right and smart. And that's not what that means. And actually, the idea, big picture, that I think is easy to miss when we look at this particular set of students is that it's either kind of a throwaway joke, like what kind of came to my mind first of all, or that it's just like, oh, well, they're gifted, so they don't need extra help. But actually, looking at each group of students with any sort of different needs, and if we look even just more broadly, trying to individualize education for all of our students in various ways, and looking at subsets like gifted and talented students is important, and to ensure that their needs are being met and that they are feeling included in a way that feels good to them. That it's not just about give them more work or give them harder work, but that they feel included in lessons and that they are challenged in a way that's kind of just right for them. Trying to find that, really, that kind of Goldilocks, like not too easy, not too hard, but just right down the middle. Let me center myself right down the middle for everybody. And that's probably going to be the YouTube thumbnail as well, with that ridiculous face. So as you read through it, I'm trying to jump right to being kind of dismissive around this topic, because it is important, and there's some great resources. There's 3 different links for you in the readings, particularly about this. The discussion board is about this, is about particularly around your school and what programs they do or don't have around gifted and talented. The big thing we're going to talk about this week, though, is your 3-day instructional lesson plan. There's a template with that. Strongly encourage you to use that template. You don't have to, but you really should. That's going to make sure you hit all the points on the rubric for that. The idea about this, and it is the first first part of the rubric, I think. I just had the rubric in front of me now. I've lost it. But the idea is that this lesson plan needs to be really detailed. It's not just like, do this activity 30 minutes, do this activity 20 minutes. It's really breaking it down step by step, to the point where if you have a fairly new sub and you are being formally observed and suddenly you're out sick and like the sub has to do your lesson plan and you are being obsessed, you're being assessed in your like formal observation that happens every 3 years, would it be a good lesson plan based on what you wrote from me? That's kind of what I picture in my head when I'm writing out more formal lesson plans like this. Now, I strongly encourage you to write it completely on your own for the first pass, and then also encourage you to toss it in either like Chat GPT or sign up for School AI. They have a couple great features called assistants. They're either core co-teacher, where you can say, hey, there's a lesson plan I'm working on. Please give me some feedback on it, and you can upload the file or copy and paste it. Or there's a lesson plan wizard that's okay. And again, you don't want to just say, write the lesson plan for me, copy and paste it. That's not okay, that's not ethical. But taking your lesson plan, pasting it in, saying, give me some feedback, or if you're just in Chat GPT or any generative AI platform, say like, you're an expert teacher with, years of experience in this, and this. I would definitely mention UDL in it, being working with assistive technologies. Give it that persona, then paste in your lesson plan, get feedback, and then take some of those suggestions and implement it. That is my suggestion for that, but make sure it is that it's really thorough in a way that it might not otherwise. But you're not writing lesson plans for yourself. You're doing like 4 a day. There's going to be a reflection built into it. There needs to be an assessment. Reflection is for you. The assessment is for the students. You need to make sure to do all the things that are on the rubric and on the assignment sheet. Bloom's digital taxonomy, finding a group. What does it exactly say? Let me look for it. finding a student group, and then identifying that group, and then figuring out what assistive technology you're going to use to implement with that group. So just read through the lesson plan. You know how to do that. Read through the description, the Google Doc, the rubric, and you will do an amazing job. And if you've not played with any generative AI tools to get feedback on stuff you're writing for your classroom, this is a good opportunity for that. Totally not required, but great opportunity. And that's all for week 5. Happy week 5, everybody.